Hello and welcome to Sam's on Wrestling, and this is our Clash in Paris predictions, and it is for the predictions, Sam's on Wrestling Predictions Championship. Baby Sam decided to annihilate me at SummerSlam. It was kind of embarrassing. However, I'm going to take a moral victory as if I'm the England cricket team against Australia because of Seth Rollins' cash in. I've got the chip correct.
Too little, too late, Sam. What I've done is I mirrored one of my favourite SummerSlam matches. I am Brock Lesnar, you are John Cena 2014. I suplexed the crap out of you, and it was delightful. I told you, Sam, I was going travelling to find myself, and it turns out I've done it, and I'm suddenly a genius. So you are now in trouble, big boy.
Did you find yourself enough?
Baby Sam on the way. Say again.
Did you find yourself enough, though, to be able to take the title from me? That's the question.
And
so,
I did.
Before we get into it, we were at Forbidden Door.
We were, yes.
And the crowd loved it. We didn't.
Yeah, I think we were the two miserable men in the crowd. Like, I enjoyed parts of it. In fairness, I was probably one of the most jet-lagged people on the planet, considering I'd flown from Singapore and I hadn't slept for about 2 days. And
no one travelled further than you to watch that show live.
No one. And it was all right, in my opinion.
I think it might be better than this show, though.
Yeah. We got a Sheamus match. I like Sheamus. So,
Could you imagine you get your Clash in Paris tickets before the events go on live? Because that's what they do. And this is the card you get given. I'd be so disappointed.
It's a good point. I didn't think of it that way, actually. Yeah, it's not a good card. I mean, you know my feeling about five match cards. I think it's a waste, and I think it shortchanges fans. And then you're obsessed with throwing 20 matches into WrestleMania, but you're only putting 5 matches on these. Make it make sense to me. Have a balance. No.
I don't mind shorter cards, but it's the fact that I reckon they've got better matches on Raw and SmackDown around the pay-per-view. We've got AJ and Dom in a rematch, Charlotte and Alexa defending their titles and the tag team championships. There's other matches going on.
Yeah. Why have 1,000 championships and only 5 matches on a pay-per-view?
I don't get it. But before we get into our actual predictions, and this is for the title, Sam won at SummerSlam, so the championship is staying with me, but it's on the line. And just to clarify the rules, if we have the same predictions, which I have a worrying suspicion we might do for what looks like a very predictable show, because I am the champion, Baby Sam will have to change one of his choices. But we might not. We don't know. But I'm worried for you that this is very similar to, what was it? The Saudi show.
Was it Evolution?
No, it's the Saudi show, the one before it.
Oh, whatever that sound, yeah.
But before we get into it, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also go check out the Main Event Wrestling Network, which we are lovely a part of. Sam does his sneezing. Is this because we're in the Wrestling Network? You're allergic to the Wrestling Network? It's so unfair. The Main Event Wrestling Network, which we're a part of, it's in our description. Go follow some amazing other wrestling YouTubers, and they're very supportive of our channel. But let's get into it. Match number 1, we are going with the Shula Fala, and it is Bronson Reed versus Roman. I don't know what my nickname is. I keep wanting to change it. Reigns. Sam, where are we thinking for Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns?
You know me, Sam. I'm a big fan of Bronson Reed, and I think, frankly, the faction's holding him back. But I've really enjoyed the Shula Fala. I like when we do daft stuff in wrestling. We don't have enough of it, and it gives him a bit of personality. I really enjoy it. I don't know what you think about this, Sam. This might be one of my more left field predictions. I'm predicting Bronson Reed because I think there's nothing to be gained here from Roman just beating Bronson Reed. I think this is one of those pay-per-view shows where Roman's going to not put him over clean, but there's going to be shenanigans, there's going to be interference, and then Bronson Reed gets to continue this whole Shula Fala thing. He's the real tribal chief and all this, and can say he's beaten Roman Reigns, and yet elevate Bronson Reed without really hurting the stock of Roman. He doesn't need to win this match. He can lose via shenanigans, but it would do a lot for Bronson Reed to win this match. Now, maybe I'm fantasy booking, However, I like Bronson Reed and I want him to win, and I think he's going to. And I know as the challenger, I've got to throw in a bit of a twist, and this is where I'm twisting instead of sticking.
Well, my first thing to say to that is I think Bronson Reed might need some help. He keeps stealing other people's shoes. Like, it wouldn't shock me if he was outside a Raw venue busking with an upside down hat. It's like, the WWE not paying him anymore. Is it now that has Seth bought his contract and now Seth is only paying him in peanuts? Like, why is the man constantly stealing other people's shoes?
Well, maybe Roman is just his size. Maybe it's hard for him to find a shoe the same size. He's a big lad, so it's hard. And Roman has always had fantastic drip on the shoes, I find.
I love your thought process that Bronson will win this because there's nothing to gain from him losing and nothing to gain from Roman winning. However, it's Roman Reigns. I literally we had the same thoughts at SummerSlam in the tag match with Roman and Jay. It's a tag match. Who cares? It'd be great for Bronson and Bron Breakker to win, and they didn't. And not only did they didn't, Jay was the one who got the pin as well. I can't see this being anything other than a Roman Reigns victory. He hasn't had a great year, apart from that SummerSlam match. I don't think he's actually won a match on his own. I don't think he's pinned anyone yet in 2025. I can't see it being anything else other than a Roman Reigns. It's an international show. This is to give Bronson Reed, it's not the Bronson Reed needs a win, it'll help him. It's a Bronson Reed being featured against Roman Reigns. That's how I think they're seeing it, rather than he needs to push. So I'm going to go with Roman of Reigns. Match number 2 in an old-fashioned Donnybrook match. It's Shambo Tango, it's Sheamus, my brother. People keep comparing me to him on TikTok. Thanks for that. Versus the guy who can't remember what his nickname is meant to be because it's very similar to his AEW gimmick. It is Rusev. Sheamus versus Rusev. Sam, what are we going with the old-fashioned Donnybrook match?
You know what? This is possibly the match I'm looking forward to the most. I like Sheamus and Rusev. I like a bit of good old-fashioned meat-slapping wrestling. I think I'll thoroughly enjoy it. I'm going Rusev. Sheamus can take the loss, and we haven't done anything with Rusev since getting him back. It's been very AEW of them just to bring in a star from the opposite show and then not really use them. So I hope that we just give Rusev something and give him a bit of momentum that he can use. So Rusev. It's surely Rusev.
How many people have WWE brought in from AEW that have actually been pushed outside of Cody?
Jade's been pushed.
No, she had a year of tagging with Bianca.
But she's being built slowly.
No, I'm not saying that. We're not saying that. We're saying, like, literally come in and straight into doing stuff. They either end up on NXT, which is fine for some people, like Blake Monroe. I think it's a perfect place for her. But other people, it really is like, oh, okay, we brought you back. Like Aleister Black's another one. Like, literally in a feud with R-Truth. Yeah, I'm just saying, Rusev needs the win here. Like, we talk about Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns. I would think Bronson would need the win, but he's not going to. But I think Rusev needs the win here. I'm glad they put it on pay-per-view. This just screamed Raw to me. But I'm glad they've actually been given the opportunity to be on a pay-per-view. So, yeah, I'm happy for Rusev to win. This is the match I am actually most interested in as well. I agree with you. Bar maybe the main event, but generally speaking, this pay-per-view in general feels quite skippable. Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Where are you going?
I'm going Becky. I mean, they're not going to give it to Nikki Bella right now. I can't see a horrible dystopian world in which Nikki Bella isn't Intercontinental Champion of anything. They'll give it to Becky and Nikki will go and do something else for a bit. I don't hugely care, and Becky's a much better champion than Nikki is, so Becky will win.
Do you know what? I'm also going Becky. I'll make that clear. But if I was the challenger and we had the exact same results and I had to change a result, this would be the one I would change. Because, and the only reason and this wouldn't have been my one I would have changed a week ago or 2 weeks ago, Naomi's pregnancy is why I would think to change it, because suddenly that main event scene looks thin. They've pushed Io and Rhea doing kind of something else, which is good. I hope they don't decide to give them the title for Perth, because they don't need the title for Perth. So suddenly, maybe elevating Becky back up to the main event only because Naomi is missing, because they've lost their big heel now. There is no big heel on Raw. Everyone's a babyface. Okay, I think that's why they're going to turn Asuka, so that they've got a heel on Raw. So I think they are running into problems. So I can genuinely see there being okay, we'll now give the title to Nikki here because Becky might be moving and elevating. Because obviously they're releasing who Stephanie Bakura is going to face after Clash on Raw. Becky could be the person after losing the title there. So I do think Becky should win and retain the title. I think she's best for the IC Championship. She's doing the best thing. It's been defending on every pay-per-view since she won it. It's been fantastic that it's been really highlighted. It's showing how you book a title. It's been brilliant. But I can see there being an upset here. But I think the safe bet here is Becky keeps the title.
Well, Sam, I have one thing to say. Once again, you've done a little monologue where everything you've said makes sense. However, as someone who knows what it's like to be the challenger, let me tell you, do not bet on Nikki Bella. She will let you down. Do not put your cards or your chips on her. She's let me down once before. I'm not making that mistake again. No chance.
In a semi-main event that could secretly main event, I'm not actually sure what the main event actually going to is. It's John Cena versus Logan Paul in a why are we wasting a date on this clown? We've only got 10 left. He literally did a whole great promo of destroying him. Very Austin Theory. Very, very Austin Theory, which I agreed with everything because I am not a Logan Paul fan. And everyone keeps going, but he's proven himself to be great. No, I still can't stand the man. He still doesn't turn up often enough for me. For someone who's got a full-time contract, I don't like him. I don't like him as a human being. And he is wasting one of Cena's dates. In fact, he's wasted two because he was obviously in the match Money in the Bank. Sam, Cena versus Logan Paul. Where are you going?
Cena. I can see them doing the Logan Paul thing for outrage and clicks, and then I'd just look at wrestling and just accept that it's died fully. I agree with everything that you said. I obviously agree with everything that Cena said. I look at this and I go, right, obviously they want to do the Cena Paul thing for interactions and clicks because of Paul, but does Logan Paul wrestling really get that much attention nowadays from social media? Because I think people who know about Logan Paul just accept that it's a thing, that he does wrestling and it's quite regular. And their attention's on something stupid that Speed is doing or whatever they're into nowadays. I think that audience has largely moved on. And I don't think him going against Cena is going to get all that much attention. And I don't think it has.
I actually massively agree with you. This is the thing. I don't know the numbers and we could be wrong. We're speculating here, of course, because we actually don't know the numbers. We're being Dave Meltzer now and pretending we know the numbers. But I think that they brought in a lot of eyes at first because people were going, oh, what's Logan Paul doing now? But Logan Paul has been a part of WWE since WrestleMania 37 now. You know, we are closing in on 5 years, more consistently 3. So are those fans stuck around to watch the rest? Like, do people come and just watch Logan? I actually don't know the numbers. I can't tell you. I assume the YouTube numbers are still large, would be my guess. But what about the pay-per-view numbers and what about the Netflix numbers and all that stuff? I don't know. I'm just not interested in this match. Cena's winning it. Because there'd be no reason for Cena not to win it. Because if Cena loses, the only way Cena loses this is if he gets shenanigan and beaten up by whoever he's facing next, i.e. Brock, for example, or Drew. So if those two get involved, I can see Logan winning it. Because Drew is obviously associated with Logan, and Drew could be Cena's last opponent. They are teasing Brock again. They teased it on SmackDown before Logan attacked him. I think they want to do Brock versus Cena at WrestlePalooza because that's going against All Out. So I think they want Brock versus Cena at that show. So I can see Cena losing via that. But other than that, no. I hope Cena wins.
We all hope Cena wins. And ultimately, you've got to solidify his face turn. He turned face and immediately lost. He needs a win. But God knows anymore, Sam.
Just before we get to the main event, just in case they throw an extra match on the card, Sam, I assume maybe Drew versus Randy Orton might be thrown on a card. I assume we're both picking Drew if that was the case.
If it happens, you know what? I'll just go left field and say Randy. Because
but isn't Drew, but Drew's going to go against Cody for the title.
Nope. Cody into Drew didn't get anything. Always bet against Drew. It always works.
I would love the fact that does get thrown on and that's what cost you the title. I would love that to happen.
I know.
In the main event, maybe, not sure. Who knows with Cena Logan Paul. For the World Heavyweight Championship, it is a fatal 4-way match. It's the champion Seth Rollins going against Jey Uso, Yeet, LA Knight, yeah, and CM Punk doesn't have words chanted by crowd. Sam, who are we going in this most obvious fatal 4-way match.
Should we just do a countdown?
Yep. Well, we can't because the thing I use, the sound will disappear.
Never mind.
So we'll do a countdown. You say it first, and then I'll say it immediately afterwards.
Great.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Seth. Insane.
I'm hoping we have a fun match. I'm hoping it's going to be a good match. I liked what they did on Raw. I thought what they did on Raw really helped the match by essentially putting the 3 baby faces kind of against each other. Thought that was really, really, really good. But Sam, I thought let's make this match more interesting because obviously we know Seth's winning it. They're not chasing the title. Let's predict who is Seth going to pin. Do you want this to be an official prediction or a bit of fun?
Well, I was literally thinking of this, and I'm very glad that you suggested it. We could do, like, if we get it right, we get 0.5 of a point. So it's like
that's just a point. That's just a point.
But yeah, I don't know. It could be a point. It could be not a point, but a tiebreaker. So say if we're tied, we could go to that.
Okay, I will allow it to be a tiebreaker because it's a title match. I will allow it.
What if you both predict Jay now?
I think we're going to predict the same person is the problem. Sam, who are you going with to be pinned?
I'm going with LA Knight.
I'm also going with LA Knight.
The bloody point. Right. Well, if it's a tiebreaker, then obviously I need to change because if it's a draw, you would still retain.
To be fair, the only way it's a draw is if they do put Drew and Randy on the card, to be fair.
Well, I'm accounting for all eventualities here. So in which case, I will go with Jay.
Yeah, so Punk's not losing this because they still want to carry on Punk versus Seth Rollins to the end of time. Just end it. I think we're getting a bit bored of it now. It's not helping Seth at all, more than anything. Punk's fine. It's doing fine for Punk. He's the babyface. They want to see him beat up the heel. So that's fine. But from a Seth standpoint, it's not helping him. I would have been fine with Seth versus Jay. Or Seth versus LA Knight. I actually would have been okay with that. And then we could have done this fatal 4-way maybe another night. I actually would have been fine with that. LA Knight is the one who feels been shortchanged here because he was in a feud with Seth, had his match at Saturday Night's main event, won the match, and now suddenly has to be in a fatal 4-way. Seems unfair.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm far more interested in the Seth versus LA Knight feud than him against either of the other two. I actually would happily have an LA Knight Seth feud, just 1v1 for a couple of months and really elevate LA Knight onto that level. I'm more interested in that dynamic because it's new, it's a bit more fresh to me. I'm sick of Jay.
The issue we're running into is we've got Perth, then War Games, and that's the War Games match. So no one's going to get a focus point. Then there's no pay-per-view in December. I don't think. I could be wrong. Question me if I'm wrong. Cena's thing is going to be at main event, which is not going to be on terrestrial TV. So that they won't put the world title match there. Cena will be the focus. And then the Royal Rumble, and people don't defend the titles and things like the Royal Rumble and stuff like that. So it's a really interesting one. Seth could generally waltz around with this title and do very little defending, I think. I want him to have a feud. Do you think they are trying to get Punk Seth to Mania? Do you think they're trying to do that?
Surely the move should be Roman Seth. Surely that's what they're after.
That's what I would have assumed. But where do they do Punk versus Seth one-on-one?
Oh, they'll do it at some Raw or some like random. It could be a main event, Saturday Night's main event. WrestlePalooza? Could they do it there? I don't know.
Yeah, that could be at WrestlePalooza. That's my only guess. They've got to end it now. Seth's winning this. He's only just won the title. He's obviously going to be the number one heel. He's going to reign of terror all over Raw. They've got loads of... They need a draft is what they actually need.
They're doing one, aren't they?
It was meant to come after SummerSlam.
Right.
So it's not happened. And they've just done a trade with LA Knight and Sammy. So that says to me that they're not thinking of doing a draft. Very strange. I'm not sure what the plan is. But yeah, this match really obviously is going to Seth Rollins. They're not taking the title off him now. So there it is. Those are our predictions for what looks like quite a forgettable show in Clash in Paris. But it is for the Sam's on Wrestling Predictions Championship. Will Baby Sam get his first ever title win? Or will I maintain this undefeated title reign in which I've lost more matches than won. It's genuinely true. God bless this thing that I'm. Hey, but Sam, if you win the title, I might not ever get it back.
You won't. I'll just go on holiday again.
I don't think I've won 2 in a row.
I will be a complete part-timer. I'll leave and go to another wrestling channel. I'll do a Punk 2011.
Thank you very much for joining us. Please put your predictions in the comments below. Also, as I said, don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And please also, as I said, go into the description and you will find the link to the Main Event Network, Wrestling Network, which we are gladly members. I am going to be joining them in their 12-hour stream that is happening on the Saturday before Clash in Paris. I'm there at 2 o'clock British time, 9 o'clock Eastern time in America. I will be there, probably talking about Forbidden Door, most likely. So please join me there and also go and watch everything there. There's some incredible content creators on there, all wrestling related, all brilliant. But we will see. Will Sam have this face on this title belt come WrestlePalooza, or will it once again be in my cold, dead hands? Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.